Hey, what's up everybody? Joe here, and I'm super excited because today is build day. So this is my 29th birthday present to myself, and I'm super stoked. Except this beautiful item right here, the Maximus 11 Hero Wi-Fi motherboard. My beautiful fiance purchased that for me for my birthday, so I'm super stoked and I appreciate that. And there's nothing else to it. I'm ready to get started. We got the 2080 Ti going in this build. We got the beautiful Phanteks Entho Luxe edition. I wanted to get one that can hold some optical drives, which I have 3 over here. 2 of them are Blu-rays, one is ASUS, one is LG. Then I have a regular DVD drive like on iHas over there. We got the Corsair H100i Platinum RGB for our CPU cooler, which reminds me, I actually forgot to bring that in. The CPU we're rocking is this bad boy right here. We got the i9-9900K. So this build right here is a little over $3,000. We got Corsair 850 watt power supply. We got some Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro RAM, 32 gigs total, 4 sticks for quad channel. And that's pretty much all the parts, except I also have an 8 terabyte hard drive I may be dropping in, but as well as our M.2 SSD. Today we're going with the 970 EVO Samsung 1 terabyte edition. So time to get cracking. It's time to pop open the motherboard. So Maximus Hero 11 Hero, brought to you by Babe, our sponsor today.
Our sponsor.
Yep. So does this have any tape on it? I don't see any tape. There we go. Woo! Oh my god, guys. Look at that beaut. So sexy. Alright. Beautiful. Set that to the side. Oh my goodness. Happy birthday to me. Oh wow. Comes out with a bunch of nice stickers. It's pretty neat. Registration, user guide, drivers, manual. We'll take this out just in case we need it. The rest I'll set aside. Thank you for your support. Join the Republic of Gamers. I'm sure all the cords and stuff are in the bottom. We'll get to that here in a second. All the SATA cables and stuff. For now, let's take out this bad boy. Nice. Very, very nice. I/O shield's already installed. That's nice. So here we go. So first step would be installing of CPU. Oh, the holy grail. Unless you're rich and can get a better one. This is enough. Same cost of a Xbox One X. There it goes. Ooh. Good catch, guys. That will stay on the video. i9-9900K. Don't do what I just did. So now we take this lever and we pull it to the side. Apply some pressure with your thumb. It lifts up. Pull it back. That relieves the CPU bracket up. That's where your CPU installs. Got loose in here. Sorry, CPU. You're so beautiful. I'm sorry. Alright. So I'll close that. Never grab it from the bottom pins, as that's what conducts. You don't want that your oils damaging it in time from the bottom. You can also see how this lines up with those curvy edges. It lines up to the motherboard up there. And there's also an arrow down here in the corner letting you know it's the corner, along with the lettering as well, will also let you know that. So, as you can see, it easily dropped in there, it lines right up. You can either take off this protection cover off now, or when you go to seal it off, it'll pop off on its own. So, I'll go ahead and let it pop off on its own. See, so you lift up, that way it starts setting, and then you go down. It'll start applying pressure to it. Alright, so our CPU is installed. Got it right in there. I don't know if you can see that or not. 9900K is installed. So let's set that to the side. And then next we can go ahead and install our RAM. Today we're using our Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro. To do this, going to look beautiful in our build. So depending on your motherboard is how you install these, but seeing as we're going to use all quad channels in this case, all 32 gigabytes. This board supports up to 128, but that's too much. That's too much money. I can't afford it, so I went with 32. So in this case, it's either A1 B1 or A2 B2, depending on your motherboard. But since we have all 4 sticks, it doesn't matter how we install it as long as it's in A1, B1, or A2, B2. And these, so you don't want to touch the contact points because the oils of your skin will damage it over time. But you do want to line it up with this right here, that one single opening with the motherboard. So all you do is line it up. RAM is super easy to install. There we go. And then you just push down. So you hear it clicks. That's it. One stick on. Simple as that. As my fiance's face just showed, it's very scary for most people. That's why they don't want to do it. But it's not that bad. You just gotta push down. That's the hardest part for people because you think you're breaking it, but you're not. Once you hear that click, as you know you're done. Actually, since I know the order I'm going, I'm gonna save that one to the side, and I'm gonna put this one next to it so I go in order. There's 2 installed. Number 3. Click. It's scary. You want to try the last one? Okay, very last one, guys. And here's our quad channels installed. That's it. All 4 RAMs, DIMMs are installed. DDR4. I went with the 3000 megahertz speed on this one. Go ahead and put our packaging up. Set it to the side. So next up, I'm going to go ahead and do our M.2 SSD. I've never owned one before. But the reason why we want to do this is because it's going to be easier to install out of the chassis than inside the chassis. I've always owned regular SSDs. So here we got 2 M.2 slots. They're both covered with heat sinks. You can use either one. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be one or the other. Which one do you think we should go with today? Top or bottom? They're both going to get good airflow due to the heatsink, so.
Bottom looks easier.
Okay, we'll go with the bottom. So, we actually need to get our screws out of the motherboard box. And it's going to come with standoffs and screws for this. So, it's not required, but if you're not using both, but you can actually install the standoffs and screws on both. That way you don't have to worry about finding your screws later and possibly losing them, or you don't have to go hunting for them if you accidentally misplaced it or thought you misplaced it. So this is the first time I ever see one of these. It looks pretty cool. So this is our solid state drive. So that's just the menu in there. That's it. Nothing else. So we'll set our SSD in there. Go ahead and put the box back. Set it to the side. Okay. So let's locate our screws real quick. And I actually had my drivers and everything ready for my 2080 Ti motherboard and all that good stuff ready on a separate USB. That way I have the up-to-date most drivers, just save that extra little time and whatnot. So here, located on the bottom of the box, we got our SATA connectors, more SATA cables. Not sure what this one's called. And more cables. Here we go. This is our M.2 standoffs and screws right here. Got some type of... Oh, okay, so this looks like it's for the power and stuff. Oh, sweet. I didn't know this came with it. It comes with the SLI bridge in case you get two graphics cards, which I probably won't be, seeing as it's $1,200 each, and I already have one and I'm content with that. This is the Wi-Fi antenna. Sweet. Alright. So let's go ahead and install this standoff and screw. We'll remove this. We'll need looks like a 00 Phillips head. And I love this, man. I miss Radio Shack. You just hold it from the top and you can spin. This is my first time using this working mat as well. It's got little sections for screws and all kinds of parts and everything, so I'll place it right there. Where it can't even roll around. It's pretty sweet. Yeah, so this goes in here at an angle and then sits down. So, meaning our standoff is going to go right there. Like I said, guys, I never installed one of these, so that's why I was measuring it up, so I know exactly how to do it. So we're going to install both standoffs and screws, so we don't have to worry about losing them or anything like that. So this we could do just finger tight. It doesn't have to be super tight. It ain't gonna go nowhere. There it is. Again, first install. Let's see how this goes. So you go at an angle. Okay, so now it's standing on its own. So now what you do is you push it down. That's where you screw it in so it holds itself tight. So now you use the standoff screw to hold it in place. The only thing I am missing here, and I recommend for anyone, is a magnet screwdriver. So you don't have to worry about dropping your screws. Just don't get it done, of course, but, and again, You have to overdo the tightening, so once you feel it tight enough, just leave it at that. So that's perfect. The M.2 SSD is installed. So now we line up our heatsink. Oh, actually, I almost forgot a step. It's got paste, or not thermal paste, but thermal pad to relieve the heat from the SSD to the heatsink. So we'll have to take this off as well and then install. Now you want to line it up. Like so. There we go. Tighten it just enough, don't want to overdo it so it won't strip again. So, we're going to install our second standoff. And seeing as it goes here, that means the standoff will go here. Okay, just finger tight. So I'm going to start my trash section over here. And that way I don't have to worry about losing those screws. Public of gamers. And we're going to leave that thermal pad intact since we're not going to be using it. Who knows, maybe in the future I might get some extra money to spend and buy another M.2. Just for my games only and get faster load times. It'd be pretty sweet. There she is, guys. Looking good. Sweet. So on to the next step. The chassis. Alright. Ooh. You went with the gray one, remember?
No.
What do you think? You don't?
I don't remember.
You picked it. I think it feels great. That thing is huge. Sweet. This makes my Alienware look small over there. And the other one weighs at least 80 pounds. Alright. And here's our chassis, guys. I've never personally owned a computer with any type of plexiglass, tempered glass, or anything. So it'll be nice to see all our hard work in action. Beautiful. Get this knife out the way. Turn this bad boy around so y'all can see it. There she is, though. So it's got hinges over here. It's pretty cool, so that means it's gonna open that way. Let's check it out. Two screws. Sweet. What you think?
Looks cool.
Looks like it's got 2.5 Aurorus SSD slots right there as well. We got our optical drives there, as we already said. So seeing as it's hinges, it'd probably be safe to take off the door. You probably can do so if you open it far enough and lift up. Yep. There she is. I'm gonna set this over here, guys. Alrighty. So I need to get everything out. We still need to mount our motherboard onto the chassis and still mount up our CPU radiator and cooler up here to the top. Looking at it, it looks like it supports 3 fans and it actually has one installed already. So I'm thinking if I should install the CPU cooler here and move that third fan, that fan that's on spot 1 to 3, or if I should just install it right there. But I think it'd be better if I move that fan over for the sake of the radiator and ease, especially seeing as we are going to occupy the optical drives. Maybe we won't even get to use that stock fan after all. So it's got a nice little discreet, I wouldn't even know what to call these, for the wire management, and it's got Velcro straps already for you in place for wire management. So they did a good job with this case. I really like it, because I needed something with the optical drive so my fiance could also use my PC for her work. It's got a controller back here as well. Let me flip it over so y'all can see. Right here for all the fan controls. So that means it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 with that stock fan control. Alright then guys, so I'm going to read over this manual a little bit and then I'll be back. Alright, so I'm going to install the optical drives first. I already got 2 of them installed. This is the 3rd Blu-ray drive going in, which is the ASUS. There she goes. Just like that, guys. Optical drives are on. This is a SATA cable for it, so let me go ahead and put it on so I don't lose it. I have to shuffle in this mess later either. There we go. Oh, this connector. There she is. Yep, optical drives are nicely installed now, as you can see, right there. Nice. The reason why I did that, I wanted to see how much clearance I had with the cooler. Alright, so we're going to install the motherboard now. You're going to need 9 screws for these. Actually, it would be best if we set down the chassis. So you want to make sure the I/O shield is lined up. Start with the center one. Okay. There she is. Now she's lined up all the way. And then now I'll do corners and everything just to make sure it's all good. So we just got 3 more screws to finish off now to install this motherboard. And when you're doing this, don't forget to install your standoffs so the motherboard won't be touching that bare metal and has at least a little breathing gap. There she is, guys. She is looking beautiful in this case.
I'm so excited and I can't wait to actually run my first game on it. The only thing I did not like was this wire, but that's better right there. Just the way that pre-case fan was installed. There she is, guys. What y'all think? Looking good, huh? Sweet. So we got, so far, 3 optical drives installed, 4 DIMMs of RAM, 9990, 900K. Our M.2 is down here as well. And that was, we installed the standoffs and screws anyways, so we wouldn't lose them. And on this board, the I/O shield was already installed. But make sure you don't forget that step whenever you guys do your build. But luckily ours was already installed. Makes it a little easier and cleaner. So next would be CPU cooler and power supply. Run all our cables. We're finishing up our build. And let's not forget this beauty. 2080 Ti, baby. Woo! Alright. So on to the next one. Alright, so it's time to install our CPU cooler. This one's going to be liquid cooled. Sorry. Got it upside down. There we go. There's all 4 fans installed on, or all 4 screws installed on one fan. On to the next one. Alright guys, I saw her here first. She doesn't love me.
Shut up.
She did not. She rejected my kiss blowing. Okay. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and stop the video. I'm going to tighten up these screws real quick and then on to installing it on the case. Alright guys, so now it's time to put on the CPU cooler. The way my case is designed, I have to put it in this way and lose one fan section. So we start off with the washer. And then a screw. It's going to be difficult to do. Alright guys, this is going to take some time, so I'm going to stop the video here and have this installed, and then I'll come back and we'll actually hook up our pump to our CPU. Alright guys, and now we reached the point where this is firmly installed and secured. All 8 screws. And now it's time to install the actual pump to the CPU. So we take off this plastic. Take off this plastic, and you want to be careful not to remove that until you're absolutely ready. That protects the thermal paste that's already installed for you. So now we remove that, and we're going to get ready with these 4 thumb screws here with our back CPU bracket that's installed with standoffs. That's how we connect it. We want to make sure it's firmly installed, so let's go ahead and remove this cover. And remember, you don't want to touch that whatsoever. You absolutely need all of that thermal paste on there. This one's just a little bit tricky just because the RAM's in the way. But we got it. So now we'll go ahead and tighten them securely. Make sure they're all level. Just make sure not to strip them either. There we go, guys. CPU pump is installed. She looks beautiful. Now we actually got to connect the wires to where the pump is fully functional and organize our wiring. And then we're on to the power supply and then the graphics card and then installing our optical drives, all our fans, everything to the power supply and then Windows and then first boot. I'm pretty excited. Stay tuned for the next part. Alright, so it's time to install our PSU, our power supply. Today we're using the RM850X. Sorry, I forgot to turn on my music. I don't want to get hit with that copyright. I do not own the rights to the song, but that was Slaves. I'd rather see your stars explode. Alright, just one more screw, guys, and this PSU will be installed. So I said this lines up weird, but there's another extra screw where it'll still hold it perfectly in place right there. So very strange because these two are perfectly aligned and then these two are at a diagonal, but they ain't going nowhere. That bad boy is installed. So now it's time for the wires. And here in this bag comes all the wires. And then only use what you need. There's a ton and a ton of wires in here, guys. So I gotta sort them out, start plugging them in, and start organizing cable management. It's almost time to power this bad boy on. We're getting close. Alright guys, so home stretch. All that's needed now is the graphics card. Already got the back panel back and mount. All I'm missing is one SATA cable for this. Optical drive right there. But it's a DVD drive, so I'm not that much in a hurry. And I also need to install my secondary drive. All I have is my NVE M.2 drive. So I'll do that one later. So we're going to take off the PCIe covers right here. They're just Phillips head screws, just like everything else in the build was. You can do this vertically or laying down, whichever you prefer. That screw came off. So we take off the PCIe cover. This is a pretty big card, so we might even need to take off the cord. Since it's a 2080 Ti. So I'm going to measure this up. good. Take off these PCIe covers. And you want to make sure not to touch the ones, as mentioned before. And yes, we're going to have to remove one more PCIe cover. The graphics card's so huge that I'm kind of nervous of the motherboard power wires being in the way. There she is, guys, lined up and installed. Beautiful. And now it's time to tie her down. There she is, guys. 100% complete. 2080 Ti was the last thing, plus the glass. Fans are all installed. Disk drives are all installed except one SATA cable. IO shield, graphics card slots. All sealed up, just ready to go. Power supply. And if you made it through the whole video, guys, I appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. And until the next one.